What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants and no hate. I want you guys to take a listen to something.
Had to do this video. Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua have got to be the worstest damn businessmen in history. Today they lost $90 million. Goddamn son of a bitches. Crazy ass. I tell you what, boys. There's some pack of cowards out there. And some pack of bullshit talkers. I tell you that now. Making all the demands in the world. You cowards, come and fight. Hey, just like to say happy birthday to Big George Lockhart, the man behind the madness. Keeps me fueled and keeps me power.
Alright, so listen. Let me just point this out. This is a video that a lot of people are making noise over. Out of all of the videos there, people are drawing their conclusions. It's a lot of confusion to people because they're getting so deep into trying to see who's lying and who's telling the truth and who did this and who did that. Then it's division because of people are fans of this guy, people are fans of that guy. It's not confused at all, okay? Anytime Tyson Fury speaks, you're going to have the Scooby-Doo look, trying to understand what the hell is going on, okay? They're looking at the Eddie Hearn videos as well, okay? And Eddie Hearn, he basically was talking about, he was answering questions. Let's always remember something. When you're answering questions, people are, the interviewers are trying to get every angle to try to get an answer, okay? And the reason they're constantly asking question after question is because they don't feel like, okay, you answered the question, I get that, but it's, that's not the main question. I'm trying to get this. They're trying to get all the information that they can. They're trying to get, they want to be satisfied with the answers of like, oh, okay, so now I see where everything's coming from. It's difficult to do that when you have multiple personalities and different people saying different things and nobody's on the same page. It's not really hard to understand. This is basically what it comes down to, okay? Now, that video clip I just played is a combination of videos. It's clips of Tyson Fury, current, back to back to back. One, he's sitting there talking, then another clip, he's sitting there talking, he's laying on a massage table, the next clip, he's in the car. Okay, but that video, if you read the comments, you can see that's the core of people starting to say, oh, now that the Fury fans are saying, all these other guys are complaining about Fury ducking. Now that they get what they want, they're going to be sorry, this, that, all, okay, whatever. As far as Eddie Hearn, okay, what people got to understand is, Eddie Hearn does not title the videos, okay? The interviewer, the content creator, these guys, okay, they're the ones who do it. Like, I can sit here and say, I don't believe what Tyson Fury says. I got to see it before I believe it because he's known for manipulation. Okay, someone can take what I said and then say, Aries Zodiac says Tyson Fury is the greatest liar of all times. Now, even though those are not my words, that's not even paraphrased, okay? Because we weren't comparing the greatest liars of all time. We're not talking about who I think is the greatest liar of all time. We're talking about a situation of a person who says something and then does something completely different. Now, if that's what I felt, that's what I'd say. But I'm not the one that titled that video. If I'm being, you understand what I'm saying? If somebody's talking to me and they're basically titling a video based on our conversation, but they're saying things that I didn't say. This is what happens. To get to the core of it, okay. First off, Eddie Hearn says, that Tyson Fury didn't really want the Usyk fight because he wanted to have a tune-up in March. So now people are going, but wait a minute, how does that make sense? Because we keep hearing about step-aside money. Okay, so when he says, now understand, he is straight up a businessman. He's not the fighter. So even things that may or may not interest the fighters, as the promoter, yeah, that's what you're going to go with. Simply because you're trying to make money. And in trying to make money, right, and trying to see what's the best, situations for your fighters and all parties involved, you're going to look at things that the fighter may go, nah, I'm not interested in that. But that's where you go, all right, I hear you, but listen, check this out. What if we do this and this, and what about this and this, right? Okay. Then you got the video. Even though I played the video, Anthony Joshua goes on to say that, stop listening to the bullshit. Until you hear it come from me, then don't believe what you hear, right? I'm in control of my destiny. That's what he says. So now everybody is on to this conspiracy theory. Oh, but wait. It's like, listen, the only thing you can really do is see if he's a man of his word and keep that. But think about what he said. He said, I ain't seen no contract. I haven't signed any contract. He didn't only say I didn't sign one. He said, I haven't seen any contract. As far as the talks, he wouldn't be in talks with Fury personally. He wouldn't be in talks with any of these guys personally. That's Eddie Hearn's job. Not that he can't, but why would he reach out to them when he clearly wants to fight the rematch with Usyk? The possibilities of it coming up, according to Eddie Hearn as well, is because he said it. And you never heard. See, when Tyson Fury calls people liars and says that they're full of shit, he never can pinpoint, what they're saying, what's lies. So he just says things in conversation, and then basically he lure you in with all this word salad. He says this, he says that, but then he turns around and if you listen to him yourselves, his needs and desires change week to week. When he says they're lying, what are they lying about? Like, what are they lying about, and who's lying? He'll just say they're all bullshit, they're all cowards. Okay, so let me sum this up. When he says they've lost $90 million, they're the worst businessmen of all time. Okay, first off, let's look at the facts. First of all, Usyk defeated Anthony Joshua in their fight. Facts. Anthony Joshua, from day one, okay, he's exercising his rematch clause. Facts. You never heard Anthony Joshua talking about taking step-aside money. The thought of it, from wherever it actually originated from, for people that think Joshua won't win the rematch, is saying he should, because then he get a big payday, right? Then he gets his chance, it gives him more time, especially now having a new trainer. So they're factoring all these things in. The people that say he shouldn't is because they think it's going to make him look like a coward. The reality is, it comes down to Anthony fucking Joshua. Because even if Eddie Hearn proposed an idea, that does not mean Anthony Joshua has to go through with it. Okay, so basically, it's not coming from him as a fighter. Now, you never heard Eddie Hearn say Anthony Joshua has come to me and said he's considering stepping aside. No, he's saying all things considered. This is what businessmen do. Leave the door open for possibilities, right? Okay. Eddie, if you remember, Anthony Joshua, I did the video on it when I was saying Anthony Joshua sounded like he's lost his confidence, and he seemed like he just lost, like he doesn't, he's not confident in himself. And he said in that video, the interviewer asked him about stepping aside. He said no. He said then he's not interested in these step aside money. He said the interviewer asked him, if you was offered like a ridiculous amount of money, a large amount of money, would you even consider it? He said maybe we'll consider it. That's what he said. Okay, answering the question. But let's understand something. The original plans for Anthony Joshua was, I'm going to exercise my rematch clause. Now, on the other side of things, you got Dillian White, who's trying to get his top dollar based on the WBC rules, which pretty much they're going into arbitration tomorrow, right? 'Cause today is Thursday, okay? The 27th. So they're supposed to, and tomorrow's supposed to be the arbitration, right? To basically see like what the final decision is going to be. What happens now is, I seen today a video of Tyson Fury this morning saying, I can't wait to punch Dillian White's face in and all this shit. Okay, more than likely, they know that everything is in their favor. And like Eddie Hearn said, we're running out of time. It's to the point where like we got to make decisions because nothing is happening the way we actually like it to happen. But not everything, but certain things, just a lot of requests that's not happening the way it's supposed to be. So pretty much, now he's finally showing some interest. This is the first time he said anything about Dillian. And let's not forget, his own promoter brought up Emmanuel Char's name, like saying fighting him is no different from fighting Dillian. And you even heard a video. I heard Tyson Fury on the video saying he wanted to fight somebody, and You know, he's ready. He's want to get in the ring and just fight somebody. He always says that, and it's usually the same thing. He's like he showed no interest in the AJ fight when they were supposed to be negotiating the first time. The second he speaks like, oh yeah, okay, we're about to fight, then all of a sudden he fights Wilder, right? So understand, Fury keeps his name in the mix of things, and he says things that is completely opposite of what everybody else is saying. So that's making people go, okay, wait, fans and fanboys are going to choose sides, which is bullshit, stupid, because all you want is the facts, right? Okay. How is Anthony Joshua ducking him? By fighting a guy who beat him that he wants his rematch. Okay? So that makes him a coward and a pussy? Okay. If you listen to all that being said, Eddie Hearn himself said, with Fury, he changes his mind week to week. And how long have we all known that? But he says, first, AJ's a pussy because he's offering step aside, and if he even if it's a mention of him taking step aside, he's a pussy, he's a coward, right? Then, if he says he's not taking step aside, he's a pussy and a coward. Everything he says is, this is what I'm talking about. So when I did the video saying Tyson Fury is a master manipulator of words and knows how to promote himself and a fight, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He says things that's the complete opposite of what's being said. But what you never hear Tyson Fury say is, this is exactly what I want. So when people are saying, yeah, but according to Eddie Hearn, he's saying that Fury is saying that Eddie Hearn is saying that Fury wants Usyk and AJ to step aside. Then he's going to go have a fight in March, a tune-up. That makes no sense, okay? It's selfish as fuck, and it doesn't make sense, because why the fuck would you want to do that? But the controversy that people are creating is based off of, oh, but this video said this, and that guy said this in the video. Listen to what's being said, right? It's hard to sort out facts if you're basing everything off fabrication. But if you listen to what actually comes out of people's mouth, you got to look and say, you can't just, now it's funny because Fury fans are saying Eddie Hearn is full of shit. Eddie Hearn is not a fighter. So if it's AJ fans that's in defense of AJ, that people are going, oh, but, you know, he said this and he said that, and how come this happened, and next thing you know, another video comes out. So as soon as you think you got all the answers, they change the questions. It's one of them situations. Usyk is not a pussy for going through with his rematch with Fury. I mean with AJ. White is not a pussy because he wants what he feel like he deserves. Fury is not a pussy because he wants to fight any one of these guys. But the idea of him having a tune-up fight is bullshit. That's pussy, because we know it's going to be a soft touch. That's pussy. Okay? And you got to understand, he's saying all of this shit. And then on top of that, again, like, he's not pinpointing who said what or who did. He's just basically saying they're all ducking him, right? So now everything revolves around Fury. They all should want to fight me instead of each other. Is that the point what he's saying? Because first off, if you're going to, okay, we heard $20 million for step aside money for AJ and 5 for White. Then we heard 15 for AJ, 5 for White. So think about this, right? If you're going to pay him, because now we're hearing $90 million. If you're going to pay him $90 fucking million to step aside, how the fuck much is he going to make in an actual fight? Do people think about stuff like that? 90 million. Tyson Fury made $20 million his last fight, right? So where the fuck you gonna get $90 million to pay Anthony Joshua? 90 million. You're gonna give him 90 million. What was it? If that's the case, and there was some kind of deal like the Zone with the 120 million, 2 fights with AJ, 1 with Brazil for Wilder, don't you think it would make more sense that you would have heard that come from Tyson Fury? You would have heard that come from his team. We're offering, 90 million, $40 million to step aside, and 50 million for the actual fight. Something like this. Where'd the 90 million come from? So when he says these type of things, this is what I'm saying. It's hard to decipher, to find the facts and the truth when you base everything that's based off lies and bullshit. You got to filter all that nonsense out. $90 million. They blew $90 million. Where'd that even come from? So instead of being fanboys and got your head up somebody's ass, you guys need to pay attention and listen and focus and think about it. That makes no sense. What Eddie Hearn said doesn't make sense, but what Tyson Fury does? Nah. There was no $90 million on the table. Step aside money is not nearly that high. And that's basically what AJ was saying. It would have to be, yes, maybe we consider it if it was a huge amount of money. For $40 million, if that would be the case for real, or $90 million, all this shit he's talking, that's crazy. Because he's not trying to fight AJ. He'd rather fight Usyk. Why would you want to fight AJ when Usyk is the one to have all the titles? He doesn't want to fight the loser of the fight. He wants to fight the winner. But see, what Hearn is saying, people got to understand, they're the ones in talks. So basically, there's not one thing that Fury says is a lie. He just, they're all liars. He doesn't pinpoint anything, like I said. So it's not hard to see. The original plans were trying to be overlooked because Fury wants what Fury wants. And if he can manipulate his way into getting that, then you got to look at them and say, you guys are weak. You're letting this guy just walk over and do what he wants. No. Why would AJ step away for him to go fight Usyk? Now, AJ's still in a good place if it happens because he gets the winner. Now, he just got a huge amount of money, plus the huge amount of money he's going to get in the actual fight, right? There was no negotiations about a $90 million. That figure never even came up. Not out of Eddie Hearn's mouth and nobody's. Only Tyson Fury's. And you don't think, in the defense of his promoters, they wouldn't have brought that up to shoot all that shit down? Listen, it's really simple. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.